shut your bark hole! No! Hey, it's Megan.
And Sue.
The Spine Breakers.
My voice went, cracked.
I was trying to, harmonize with it. Sorry.
And today we are doing our August, right?
Yeah. I was like, what month is it? August?
Wrap up. And my N.E.W.T.s wrap up as well.
Sue fucking killed it in August.
I did, and I didn't expect to because I had a long lull in the middle where I just wasn't really reading at all, but I got back to it.
She fucking killed it.
Yeah.
I didn't. I did not finish any book in August, so I stank it up. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about Sue's books.
Because you have read just one of these.
I think I've just read one of them, but I'm really interested in at least two.
Okay.
So.
And we're gonna drink this Hell or High Watermelon wheat beer from 21st Amendment Brewery, which is where? I don't know.
New York. Utica.
New York.
And look at how relaxed Lady Liberty is. She's got a crown resting on the bridge. She's just chilling.
And this was the only beer from this brewery that they had at the liquor store, which is kind of weird.
The liquor store.
Cheers. Ooh, I like that.
It tastes like a Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, but not nearly as sweet.
It tastes so weird, after the last beer we drank.
Yeah, because we just had a salted caramel.
I'm trying to
I
get.
really like that though. It's it's like a watermelon Jolly Rancher, but way
lighter,
less sweet, and it's very light.
Yeah.
This would be a good summery.
Yeah, this is a good hot weather beer, which it's really fucking hot here right now. So, this is
technically still summer.
I know, but it's September, and I just really am longing for fall.
It's Halloween season.
It's Halloween season,
as far as I'm concerned.
It's Halloween time.
All right, so I'll just get into what I read.
Yeah, let's talk about what you read, because I didn't finish dick.
The first thing I finished was not for my N.E.W.T.s. It was the only one that I read this month that wasn't for my N.E.W.T.s, but it was Wildseed by Octavia Butler, which is the first book chronologically in the Patternist. Is it Patternist?
It's Patternist series.
Yeah, Patternist series, aka Seed to Harvest, whatever you want to call it. It starts out in the 1600s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, late 1600s in Africa, and it's about this woman who has some sort she's some sort of supernatural being.
Mm-hmm.
She's, I think at the beginning of this book, she's already 300 years old.
Yeah.
So she's possibly immortal, and she can also shapeshift. This man comes across her, sort of seeks her out, named Doro, who also is a supernatural being who is much older than her, and he has to jump bodies to stay alive.
Yeah.
So he kills a lot of people, but he kind of does it without caring, without giving a shit.
He doesn't give a shit, yeah.
But he also has to do it to stay alive. And he's kind of trying to create this community of supernatural people, so he's breeding people with abilities together.
Because I think he can sense them. I think that's part of his ability, is that he can.
Yeah, and that's
feel
why
them,
that's
and he
how
seeks
he
them
found
out.
her, is he kind of sensed her
and
sought her out. Yeah, and that's all I'll say about it. But I loved it. I actually loved it more than I was expecting to. I ended up giving it 5 stars, 5 out of 5. I was I fucking loved it, and it didn't go the direction I thought it was going to go, which I think is why I ended up loving it so much.
Yeah.
And I buddy read this with Rebecca from Tea Hags, and I think she really enjoyed it too. So yeah,
that was my favorite book in the Patternist series.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm contemplating whether I want to keep going chronologically or go back and do publication order.
I'm gonna go back and read it publication order now that I've read it chronologically, because I think, usually with Octavia Butler, I love her series more as they go on.
Yeah.
I love the later books in the series, and I always appreciate the entire series more after I've finished it.
Yeah.
And that was true of the Patternist series for me, but I want that experience of reading it
Yeah, and that's why I feel like maybe I'll go back and instead, because this would have been, I think, like, in publication order,
I think
this would have been, like, third
or fourth.
Yeah, maybe fourth if you count Survivor. So I might go back and read Pattern Master and then read Mind of My Mind. So the next book I finished was for my N.E.W.T.s, and I read The Chalkman by C.J. Tudor, which was for a book that ends on an even page number for my arithmancy N.E.W.T. I don't know what you call it. But this is a thriller, which I don't typically read, but I really enjoyed this one, and so this is about a man who's looking back on his childhood, growing up in the 80s, so it flips back and forth from 1980 something to whatever present time was when it was published, I guess, but, so it's a little cliche, I'll be honest, like the structure, I guess, is a little cliche. But, you know, there was a murder that happened and now that was never actually solved and all that business. But I really enjoyed it, and it actually did, the ending I did not see coming. And I mean, it was very fast paced. I read it really quickly, enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Next, for my arithmancy N.E.W.T., I read Sula.
I'm very interested to hear your thoughts on Sula, because I have not read it yet.
Yeah. By Toni Morrison. After she passed away, and then we went and saw that documentary.
So good. So fucking good.
What was it called?
The Pieces I Am or something?
The Pieces I Am.
The Pieces I Am. So fucking good. Like, even if you've never read Toni Morrison, watch it.
Amazing.
It was so good.
But after watching that, I just felt compelled, because I switched up my TBR a little bit. So this wasn't on my N.E.W.T.s TBR, but I just felt compelled to pick up a Toni Morrison, and I'm trying to read her books in the order they were published. So this was the next one after The Bluest Eye, which I read last year. And it's almost hard to describe what it's about, because it kind of covers a lot of time period for being such a short book, and a lot of members of this family, but it's mostly focused on Sula. And she's kind of almost thought to be cursed a little bit, and it was really good. I mean, Toni Morrison's writing is fucking beautiful. And I think someone said in that documentary that, like, every sentence means something in her writing, and I think that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
That's why her books are mostly very short, because they don't really need to be any longer.
No,
because
and her writing's simple. Like, it's very direct. It's not flowery, really.
No.
It's just like, she packs a fucking big punch into every sentence.
Yeah. And she's just so good. So good.
She's brilliant.
Definitely wasn't my favorite. I think Beloved's still my favorite of all I've read, so I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but it was really good. Alright, the next to get my O in arithmancy, I read The Boy on the Bridge, which counted for a book that was over 350 pages long. And this is the sequel to The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey. I don't think I said that. But The Girl with All the Gifts is a zombie novel, but it's kind of not typical.
It's a unique zombie novel.
And this is a prequel. There is a part at the end that's set after The Girl with All the Gifts. But for the most part, it's a prequel talking about the like mobile lab Rosie that they come across in The Girl with All the Gifts. This is telling the story of it and all the people that were in that lab.
Interesting.
And what happened. And I really liked it. I was actually pleasantly surprised, because mostly I've heard people say that this was disappointing and did not live up to The Girl with All the Gifts. And it's been a little while since I read The Girl with All the Gifts, like at least a year, I think. So maybe that's why it's not really fresh in my mind, but I really enjoyed this probably just about as much as The Girl with All the Gifts.
I really loved The Girl with All the Gifts.
Yeah. It was maybe a little better, like The Girl with All the Gifts was maybe a little better than this one, but I don't know, I thought this was really good. I liked it.
So why do you think people said that one maybe didn't live up so much? What do you think that they thought was lacking, or that you didn't really find lacking, if that makes sense?
I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed it. So I will say, like, the characters in this book were maybe not as interesting, I guess. I don't know.
I'm excited to read it.
I'm not sure.
I'm really excited to read it.
Yeah. So I gave that 4 out of 5 stars as well, I believe. I think the next book I finished was an audiobook. I think I finished it next. I don't know. I might have finished it before this, but who cares? But I decided for my History of Magic challenge, which was to read a fantasy, that I would listen to Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. And it was read by the author, and he did a fantastic job. And it's like an urban fantasy set in London, I think. It's about this man who's kind of like just an ordinary dude, and then he comes across this girl who's like horribly injured and bleeding, and he decides to help her, and then he gets kind of pulled into this weird magical world of like this other side of London that most people can't see. And I really enjoyed it. There was kind of a part, maybe about a quarter of the way through the book, where I got bored, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. But then I picked up again, and I ended up enjoying it. But it also, like, I don't know, books like this always feel like children's books to me. Even though it's definitely not. Like, there's definitely adult themes in here. But I felt the same way when I was reading the Book of Lost Things. I was like, this just feels like I'm reading a kid's book, even though there was, like, so much fucked up shit in that book.
But those elements of fantasy, like, where you have to suspend disbelief for a second, like, it does feel very childlike, I think.
Yeah. So. But overall, I enjoyed it. I think I also gave it 4 stars. Just give them 4 stars. Don't worry, there'll be some things that aren't 4 stars.
No worries.
All right, then next I went to my astronomy N.E.W.T.
Boom, boom.
And the first book I read had to have a moon on the cover or in the title, so I read 2001: A Space Odyssey.
What did you think?
By Arthur C. Clarke, and I fucking love this book.
Yeah?
Yeah, I, again, was not expecting it. I've had this book for a long time, and I just didn't think I was gonna love it that much. And I somehow knew very little.
I know nothing about it
going into it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
And maybe I shouldn't say anything because I feel like that made me enjoy it more.
Okay.
But yeah, I loved it, and also one thing I'll give you a hint about what it's about. I feel like Carl Sagan drew heavily from this for the book Contact.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I loved this, and obviously I've never seen the movie because, and someone did mention when it was on my TBR that this was actually written like for the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I said something kind of derisive about them talking about the movie on the synopsis. I was like, why are they talking about that movie? But they're actually very intertwined. It wasn't like a movie based on a book. It was a book written to be made into a movie. Like, it was written in collaboration with Stanley Kubrick. Kubrick. To be made into a movie.
Interesting.
Basically.
Okay.
But it was fucking great.
I
gave it 5 stars, I think.
Damn.
Maybe 4.5, but...
Damn, but still, that's high praise.
It was really good. Next, I feel like I'm talking so much.
Well, I didn't read Dick, so I'm just here to offer support and ask you questions because I didn't read anything.
So next,
I'm excited about this one.
Oh, I should talk fast because Jeff just pulled in. Next, I read a book with Knight in the title or series name. So I read Long Dark Night of the Soul by Susan Marvin, which is a random cover buy that I got, and it's a horror novel about this young woman who goes to England, and she's very fucking excited about this. Like, she loves history and the history of England, and she feels like she just like belongs there or something. But she's going to be a tutor for this boy, little boy, and he's acting weird and all that, and it wasn't good, y'all.
Oh,
it wasn't good.
Not a hidden gem.
It was written like she had a thesaurus sitting beside her the
Oh,
whole
that's
time,
terrible.
and would be like, "Oh, what's another word for this?" And she, like, the bitch loves an adverb. Like,
oh, is that the lady that you posted with the LYs all the time?
Yes, she used the word. Her favorites were effervescently and frenziedly, which is a bad word.
That's
It's
a terrible word. It
to
doesn't flow
use.
well, no.
And they wouldn't quite fit in places sometimes. And she would always say that people said something, you know,
Excitedly. Loudly.
Anything with an LY on the end.
Right.
So the writing was not great. And the story itself was, like, kind of boring. And, like, predictable. So
That's disappointing,
wah, wah.
because that cover is pretty epic.
Yeah, but it wasn't like the worst book ever, so I think I gave it 2.5 stars because it was okay. I mean, it wasn't like
It's still pretty low rating for
terrible,
you.
but and it didn't like piss me off or
That's
anything.
fair.
But I was like, eh. And then the last book, which completed my N.E.W.T.s, it was to read a sci-fi book. So I read the 4th volume of Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples, which is a graphic novel. But this series is about these two people from different warring planets who fall in love and have a kid together, and then they're on the lam because neither of their people are cool with that. So this continues that story,
Nice.
and still really good, really loving this series. I didn't love this volume as much as some of the other ones. I gave it 4 stars, but it still was really good.
Damn.
So that's
Sue fucking killed it.
I finished
Killed
that. I finished Saga with 48 minutes to spare on
Damn.
the last day of August.
Killed it. That's
So
fucking
I
awesome.
finished my N.E.W.T.s, and
1,
I'm
2, 3,
officially
4,
an
5, 6,
astronomer
7,
now.
8 books in 1 month.
Plus an
She
audiobook.
fucking- I know, I counted it.
Oh,
in the
you
8. She fucking killed it.
I mean, I did pretty well,
Boom.
if I do say so myself. Yeah, but I had a good reading month.
Damn, you did. I did not, because like the first part of August, I was really readathoned out, and then like the
Yeah.
second half, I had
get
life
that.
stuff happening.
You've been doing
And
a lot
so-
of crafty stuff too, though.
I really have. Like I've been spending a lot of time making stuff. So
So that was my wrap up. I really like this beer.
it's pretty good. Again, like I really don't think it's kind of sweet for me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's that sweet.
I
I
just
feel like
really
that
don't
last beer was
have-
way sweeter.
And it was a little sweet for me. I just don't have a sweet palate. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like bitter things like my soul.
But you don't like IPAs.
I do now.
Yeah.
I like them now.
Yeah, I like it a lot. So if you like, I don't know, I would hesitate to recommend it to someone who likes sweet things because to me it's not very sweet at all.
If you like watermelon things.
If you like watermelon, yeah.
And if you
beer.
like watermelon, like Jolly Ranchers, because it tastes like someone dissolved one into a really good beer.
So that's it.
Yeah, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.